We'll be getting started in a little bit with the ringing of the Kansho, the calling bell, but you're welcome to offer incense before the service begins. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see so many of you this morning for our first major service of the 2026, our Ho-Onko. Ho-Onko is the time that we reflect on commemorating the passing of our spiritual leader, Shinran Shonin, the founder of our Jodo Shinshu tradition. His actual date of death is on January 16th. So today we are observing his the passing of Shinran Shonin today. Today we're very fortunate to have as our officiant Reverend Mary Beth Hōkai Smitty Smith, and then our co-officiants are Reverend Sterling Davenport and Reverend Greg Gibbs. And then our guest speaker today is Reverend Vonn Magnin from the Arizona Buddhist Temple. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Ralph Honda, chairperson for today's service, and our musical accompanist will be Ann Ong on the organ. Today we will have the fruit and floral offering by the high school class. Thank you, Paulina, Aya, and Spirit, for your fruit and floral offerings. Before I continue, I'd like to introduce our the most important part of the of our ministers are their spouses, and today I'd like to introduce Mrs. Jackie Davenport, Mrs. Kyoko Gibbs, and Mrs. Karen Magnin. So please stand. Welcome to our today's service. Okay, we will begin the service with chanting of the Sanbujo, which can be found on page 21 of the service book. That will be followed by the Hyobyakumon, or the intention of the service, and then Sutra chanting of the Shoshin.
Jo Please join me in Kansho. We gather here today to observe Ho-Onko, the annual memorial service for Shinran Shonin, founder of our Jodo Shinshu Buddhist tradition. Through this service, we express our gratitude to Shinran for showing us the path of wisdom and compassion that is Amida Buddha. The Japanese characters Ho-On literally mean to return of gratitude, and Ko means to clarify the meaning of. If Shinran Shonin had not clarified the teachings of the primal vow, our temple and Sangha would not be in existence today. For this, we praise the virtues of our founder and express our sincere appreciation for having encountered these teachings. On this observance of Shinran Shonin's memorial, we reaffirm our desire to hear these teachings and our intent to live the Dharma as we follow the Nembutsu path each day. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Shoshin can be found on page 58. And then the Ekoku would be on page 40, 41 and 42.
Kansho Butsu Jodo in Hokudo Ninden Shizen Mak Konru Mujo Shushogan Shotsuke Udai Guze Goko shi shisho ju se myo sho mon jipo hu ho mu ryo mu hen ko mu ge mu taiko Shoujo kangi chieko Fudan nanji mushoko Chonichi gako shojin setsu Isai gunjo muko sho Hongan myogo shoujo go Shishin shingyo ganni in Joto gakusho daine han Ishimetsu do ganjo Nyorai sho iko shuse Yui setsu mida hongan kai Gojoku akuji gunjo kai Oshin nyorai 一年喜愛心普段本の特寧藩根性逆法さえ入妙種子入会一味摂取信仰上昇後意の水波無明安都内心臓死運無上不真実信心天非如に幸福運無運無しげ妙無安薬心謙虚大狂気即を超絶語悪臭一切善幕本部人門心如来偶世願仏言古代諸下者善人名踏んだりけみら仏本願念仏邪見教満悪衆生信行十字人に難難中死難昔インド祭天四論下中華自治域思考層現代諸国聖書意妙如来本税置き釈迦如来老河線一種五妙南天竺ルジュ大自出土性質の財派有無権前絶大乗無情報召喚議事小安楽賢治難行六六信行異行指導楽億年弥陀仏本願自念即自入筆上唯の上昇如来語お法大悲偶世音天神菩薩増論説奇妙無下公如来永衆たら見真実法世 の頂戴誓願こういう本願力へこ移動群上昇一心記入苦読大崩壊一逆入大へ収集徳試練下造世界即昇進女法精進有本の輪現人図入生寺恩寺を下本師ドンランロ天使上古蘭書菩薩来三蔵ルシ十上教本上専業気楽法天神菩薩論中下報道因果見世願おげんねこゆたり少女死因有意心人惑前本部新人ポ承知承知即涅槃意志無量光明道小衆上回復系同社結晶道南小有異名浄土貫通入万全自力変言集円満徳語感染症三不三神経音言増末法滅道品一生増悪知偶税死安有害小名化全道独名部所意公愛上三有逆悪法名名語見人年開入本願大智慧幼者少女今後心狂気一年総合よい大と逆三人即小法小子上楽原神公開一大教変気安女観一切先祖出身反戦人法 shobenru gokuju akunin yui shobutsu gayakuzai hiseshuchu Bono shogen suifuken daihi muken joshoga honshigen kumyobukyo renmin zen makubon bunin shinshu Shoko Henshu Senjaku Hongan Guakuse Genrai Shojirin Denge Kechigi Joi Shoshi Sokunyu Jakujo Ichi Shinjin no Nyu Gukyo Dai Jishu Shito Josai Muhen Jokuak Dozoku Jishu Gudoshin Yuika Shinshi Koso Gasho Namanda 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 Namanda.
Thank you. Thank you. Shoshin was written by Master Shinran Shonin, and we chant this every year for his during his memorial. At this time, we will have incense offering by representatives. Representing the Dharma School staff, Angela Castillo. Dharma School students, Miss Emmy. Sangha teens, Miss Kira. Junior YBA, Paulina Coparubius. The Adult Buddhist Association, Greg Yonekura. From the Buddhist Women's Association, Sue Moribe. Is Sue here? There she is. Taiko Laura Yoshida. Komon, the past presidents, Joyce Teague. Representing the Buddhist temple, Kurt Yasuhara. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call upon Smitty Sensei to introduce our guest speaker, Reverend Vonn Magnin, who will give the message first to the Dharma School.
Reverend Sterling must have been the last one standing here. The microphone was. And before I introduce our guest speaker, I would just want to say that I really appreciate everybody chanting Shoshin this morning on this very special service occasion. You sounded wonderful. Really, you did. And I could feel it. I could feel that rhythm of everybody chanting together. Such a beautiful tribute to Shinran Shonin is chanting Shoshin together. So thank you, everyone. I know it's a long one, so I appreciate your efforts chanting today. Well, our guest speaker is Reverend Vonn Magnin of the Arizona Buddhist Temple. Many of you may know him or have met him on other occasions. And he and his family have been active members in the Arizona Temple for over 15 years. And Vonn Sensei is a native of Phoenix, Arizona, and he holds both a Bachelor of Social Work and a Master of Public Administration from the Arizona State University. Go Sun Devils. He's also finishing up a master's degree at the Institute of Buddhist Studies, and we wish him well as he defends his thesis next month. Reverend Magnin received Tokudo ordination in Kyoto in 2014 and Kyoshi certification in 2022. And among his many ties to the Buddhist Temple of San Diego, a couple of his connections include the fact that he went through Tokudo training with Reverend Laverne and Mori, and he went through Kyoshi Kyoshu with the same group of ministers that I was in. So there's a lot of us who connected with Junior YBA and other organizations who have known Reverend Vonn for quite a while. Well, Reverend Vonn and his wife Karen have been married for 28 years, and they've raised 2 sons, and they currently pamper 2 spoiled dogs. And after Vonn Sensei completes his Master of Arts in Buddhist Studies at IBS, he's really hoping to take the final steps toward becoming a Kaikyoshi minister this summer. And also, at the beginning of this summer, his wife Karen will be retiring from her long-time career as a kindergarten and first grade teacher throughout the time. Yeah, so teaching little ones for quite a while. So that she and Vonn Sensei will be starting a new chapter of their lives together later this year. So we wish them well with that. And in his rare free time, Vonn Sensei enjoys nature and being outdoors and reading science fiction books, watching sci-fi TV shows and movies. And he's actually a mega fan of both Star Wars and Star Trek. And I know that tends to start some arguments among folks who are fans of one over the other. So please don't ask Reverend Vonn that question of which he prefers, because we don't want to start any fights here, and we also don't want him to short circuit. There's rumor that he may be part android. So here with his Ho-Onko Dharma talk for the Dharma School students is Reverend Vonn Magnin.
Good morning, Dharma friends. Would it be okay to invite the Dharma School students and Junior Y members to come up to the front, please? Wow. Normally we have 2 4-year-olds that come up, so this is wonderful. Thank you. It's nice to see so many smiling faces and some friends. Wow. Thank you for coming up to the front so now I can all see you better. I promise I don't bite. Why don't we start by putting our hands together in Gassho. I go to the Buddha, who is my teacher for guidance. I go to the Dharma, which are the teachings for guidance. I go to my Dharma family and Dharma friends, who are the Sangha for guidance. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu. Well, since Reverend Smitty mentioned I like science fiction, does anyone here enjoy science fiction a little bit, maybe? Okay. See the adults raising their hands. Okay, all right. I started enjoying science fiction when I was probably around 8 or 9 years old. And I will say, yes, I'm a fan of both Star Trek and Star Wars. I'm really happy there's a Star Wars movie that's coming out this summer. So I'm hoping it's good. And then I actually had an opportunity to meet William Shatner, who, those of you who know, was the original Captain James T. Kirk a few months ago. So that was a bucket list item I was able to check off. So I'm really happy. But I'm not here to talk about science fiction, Star Wars, Star Trek, or any of that stuff. We're here to talk about Shinran Shonin. Shinran Shonin, this is his special day because this is the day that he entered the Pure Land, which is something that all Buddhists are looking for. So normally when we think about Shinran Shonin, we think about what we see on the Naijin in the picture, or maybe a statue outside or inside the temple itself. Is he a young guy when you look at him? Now, how old does he look to you? What's your best guess? 40? Okay. That's good. That's good. What else? What do you think? Well, the answer is I don't know. But he certainly always looks old. But I promise you, just like I look old today, I was once young, and I mentioned that I started enjoying science fiction when I was about this big. So I'm curious from y'all, is anyone here close to age 8 or 9? Maybe 10? You're 10? Ken, what's your name? Benjamin. Okay, Benjamin, can I ask you to come up here just real quick, please? You're very important this morning. Okay, so Benjamin here is 10 years old. And the reason why I asked Benjamin to come up here is because Shinran Shonin, believe it or not, was once 10 years old. And he actually became a Buddhist monk when he was just a little bit younger than you. They say between 8 and 9 years old. So I'd like you all to just look at Benjamin and picture Shinran Shonin this way. Yeah. Do you think that y'all could have gone to a Tendai Buddhist monastery at Benjamin's age? Yeah. No, maybe for a field trip, right? But do you think you could like live there for 20 years? How about you, Benjamin? No? Okay. Okay, you can sit back down now. I don't want you to embarrass, but let's give Benjamin a little hand. It takes courage to come up in front of people. Okay. Well, the reason why I wanted you to picture Benjamin as being the age of Shinran Shonin is because we have to remember he didn't start off being an old man. He started off just like all of us, children, right? And as we age, we gain experience, we get to see new things, make friends, do different stuff. Sometimes we have to do some things that are kind of hard. So are any of you active in sports? Like Little League or soccer, basketball? Yeah, I see a couple of hands coming up here. Yeah, yeah. So think about maybe the hardest thing you had to do. Maybe sports, or maybe auditioning for a play, or maybe you're in marching band, or maybe you had to take a big test, or maybe you had to ask someone out on a date. Maybe some of you have done that yet, I don't know. But these are nerve-wracking things to do. And I just want to tell you a really short story about Shinran Shonin when he's about Benjamin's age. So when he went to the monastery on Mount Hiei in Japan as a 9, almost 10-year-old boy, he went in the monastery at night. We believe it was probably close to midnight, and he was supposed to become a monk right away. But the head guy of this monastery, he's like, you know, it's so late. Why don't we go ahead and shave your head so you can become a monk tomorrow morning? So when you become a monk, they actually shave you all the way down. Now, I know I'm bald, but it's shorter than this, all the way down. And Shinran looked at the head teacher and he said, you know what? Cherry blossoms may well blow away in the night. Cherry blossoms may well blow away in the night. Who here has ever seen cherry blossoms? Yeah. They only appear for a short period of time each year. So this poem that Shinran composed right there on the spot and said to the head teacher meant that the cherry blossoms we see right now may not be here tomorrow morning. So why put off something that's really, really important until tomorrow? We should do it tonight. And so the head teacher was so impressed by this young boy, like Benjamin's age, again, remember, close to 10 years old, that he actually had his head shaved that night, and he became a monk right then and there. So we know after that, Shinran spent all this time on this mountain learning about Buddhism. And I'm sure he got to play with friends and do some other things too. But he spent all this time on this mountain, and it all began in that moment when he had the courage to try something really, really, really difficult and hard. And the reason why I wanted to share that story with you is because after those 20 years, he left that monastery because he realized he needed to find a different way to grow spiritually and find enlightenment, because being a monk was way too hard. I don't think I could have done that. It was way too hard. So he encountered Namo Amida Butsu, and he was so happy with encountering the Namo Amida Butsu that he had an opportunity to share it all over Japan. And then he passed away on January 16th, 1262. But it didn't stop there, did it? Just like Reverend Smitty said, we are all here today because of Shinran Shonin. All of us. You're here with your friends, you're here with your families because of Shinran Shonin. I hope one day, many, many years in the future, there will be other people in the San Diego temple here because of Shinran Shonin and also because of all of you. You are the future of your temple. So as you grow in this temple and you learn things, feel free to share that joy with others. Come back as you age and go to college or start a job or join the military, whatever you choose to do. Come back and experience the teachings. You are the future of them. And I'm so happy to be here with all of you today, seeing the future of Jodo Shinshu in America right in front of me. So thank you so much. And that is my message. Will you please put your hands together once more and join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandab, Namandab, Namandab. Thank you very much, Dharma friends. Thank you, Benjamin.
Thank you, Vonn Sensei, for that very inspirational message to the Dharma School students. Wonderful. Thank you, Benjamin, for coming up to represent the Shinran, a young Shinran. Okay, well, everyone, please rise for the Gatha Shinran Sama. That can be found on page 141 of the service book. Please remain standing for the recitation of our pledge. It can be found on the insert on the back of the service book. Our pledge. Breaking out of my shell, I will show a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works. Kansho. Namo Amidabs. Namo Amidabs. Namo Amidabs. Namo Amidabs. Namo Amidabs. Thank you. You may be seated. See, are there any special announcements at this time? I know a lot of our announcements are repetitious every Sunday, but if you have something you'd like to announce. I have one. Let's see. Today is our New Year party after the service, and I understand that there are some bento lunches available for purchase. So if you haven't ordered one and you'd like to attend the luncheon, and you're welcome to go over to the annex. There's a table outside, and you could check to see if a bento is available. I understand there's still a few remaining, and I understand there might be a couple box chickens also available. Brittle lady, want to say something? Okay.
Happy New Year, everyone. It's nice to see everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm the friendly brittle lady, and I'd like to see you all come back. We have, I can count them on one hand, maybe two hands, what we have left to sell. So please come see me so I can be done with making these announcements. Thank you.
Thanks, Margot. I had a couple more. Next Sunday is our temple's Winter Pacific Seminar. I'm sorry, our general meeting. Our temple general meeting is next Sunday. And so all the temple members are welcome to attend. It's our only business meeting of the year. And our president, Kurt Yasuhara, will preside over the meeting along with our resident minister, Reverend Sterling Davenport. And so it's a time that all the committees will provide their reports. The financials will be presented for the upcoming year, and the attendees will approve the slate for the board of directors for 2026. If you'd like to attend, you're welcome to. It's also a potluck, so if you'd like to bring something to share for the luncheon, you're welcome to do so. And the meeting will be starting about noon in the annex hall. And then my last announcement is today's the deadline to sign up for the Winter Pacific Seminar that's hosted by the Center of Buddhist Education at the Jodo Shinshu Center and the BCA. And this year's theme is AI and Jodo Shinshu. So it sounds like an interesting topic. So if you'd like to sign up, there's a registration sheet downstairs in the office. Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Junko?
Good morning. Just want to let everyone know, make sure that you know about the baby shower that we're going to be hosting for Reverend Davenport on February the 8th. It will be following the the BWA Memorial Lady Kakushini service. It's a potluck. So everyone's invited. It's for the whole temple. And come and meet Reverend Davenport and his wife Jackie. And they're having a baby. February 26th is their due date. So please come and celebrate with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Junko. And now we'll have words of appreciation from Kurt.
Good morning, everyone. It's really nice to see so many people here at Temple today. I think every year the services have been growing, which makes me happy to see so many people come and appreciate the Dharma. So thank you for coming. And I'd like to thank our officiant, Reverend Hōkai Smitty Smith, for officiating today's service. The co-officiants were Reverend Sterling Davenport and Reverend Gregory Gibbs. Our guest speaker, I'd like to thank Reverend Vonn Magnin for coming from Arizona today and presenting our Dharma talks. And there'll be one more, so the Dharma school will leave, so the adults please stay. I'd like to thank Ralph for such a wonderful job always hosting services, and Ann Ong for his music accompaniment. She does a great job. I'd also like to thank our audio video team who streams our services and are available on YouTube. So if you want to see any prior services, feel free to check them out on YouTube. They do a great job. So we're going to excuse the Dharma school, but the adults, please stay for the adult presentation. And any new people here today that have any questions, I'll be in the back after the service, and I can help you answer questions, help you understand our service, introduce you to the ministers that can also answer more deeply the questions you may have. So any visitors, please, I'm available in the back. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. Now the Dharma school's excused to their activity. I don't know where it is, but in the annex. Okay, so you're welcome to come up to Oshoko, and then you can go to the annex. Okay, thank you. We'll now begin the adult portion of the service, and it will begin with a chanting of the Vandana and Tea Sarana on page 96 of the service book.
Please, everybody, join with me in chanting both parts where it says leader or Sangha. We'll chant all the parts together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Kie Butsu. Namo Kie Ho. Namo Kie So. Kansho, Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Now I'd like to introduce again Reverend Magnin, who will present his Dharma message.
Well, good morning again, Dharma friends.
Good morning.
I cannot tell you how happy I am to be here amongst so many friends from the Southern District. And also, I want to thank you for the fantastic weather. I just wish I had actually packed some shorts and sandals because it's been warm the last couple of days. It feels more like summer to me. It's been absolutely delightful. And my wife, Karen, and I actually have had a lot of fun here over the last 2 days. I'd like to start off by thanking, President Kurt for having me here, and as well as Reverend Smitty, Gibbs, and Sterling, as well, and the remainder of the ministerial team. Thank you so much for having me here. It's really a pleasure, and also like to thank, where is Ann, who is playing the organ? Thank you so much for playing my favorite gatha. I love Shinran Sama, so it was really precious to hear Shinran Sama today, and thank all of you for all your chanting of Shoshin. It's wonderful to be able to do that together. A couple more thank yous. I'd like to thank Ralph Avis and Reverend Honda for hosting Karen and I to dinner on Friday night, and then also Reverend Smitty and Jackie for having us for dinner last night. So it's been great catching up with so many Southern District friends. So why don't we go ahead and begin? Will you please put your hands together and join me in Gassho? This is an excerpt from the Sutra on the Buddha of Immeasurable Life, delivered by Shakyamuni Buddha. People in the world today are so shallow and vulgar as to quarrel among themselves over matters of no urgency, and are all the same in having anxieties as they wander here and there in misery, accumulating worries and troubles. Driven by their own desire, they run about aimlessly and thus do not have a moment's peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandab, Namandab, Namandab. So today we're observing Ho-Onko, very special service in Jodo Shinshu. In fact, it is the most important Shinshu service of the year. I'm not sure if anyone knew that. Has anyone been to Japan for Ho-Onko ever? It's a 7-day event, and it runs practically 24/7, and it begins a week before January 16th. So for next year, if you wish, they actually live stream a lot of stuff. And it's quite special to be able to chant along with people in Japan, and it just blows my mind. It's like Star Trek and Star Wars came to life for me, because we can be thousands of miles away across the Pacific Ocean, and we can participate with fellow Nembutsu Buddhists in an entirely different continent. So I encourage you all, if you get the opportunity, put it up on YouTube and chant along next year. So for those of you who do not know, and actually I believe Ralph mentioned it, but Ho-Onko has been around in its present form since the time of Renyo Shonin. So Renyo Shonin was the 8th head priest of our tradition. He's over here on the left side as you face the Naijin. He started Ho-Onko as we know it today, and he lived during the 15th century and was also a direct descendant of Shinran Shonin. And this is the part that Ralph kind of talked about, I believe. The term Ho-Onko is a Japanese term, and Ho-On means returning what is owed in gratitude, and Ko can also mean group. Actually, I think Reverend Smitty, you may have shared that, come to think of it. Okay, travel brain. So anyway, Ho-On means returning what is owed in gratitude, and Ko means group. So what this really means for us as a Sangha is this is an event that we do together. We come together to express our collective gratitude to Shinran Shonin for us being able to encounter the precious teachings that were passed down from him over 800 years ago until they reached us right here in this temple today. So I'm really thankful to be joining all of you as fellow Shin Buddhists as we remember to say thank you to Shinran as a group on this very special day. So the passage I shared just a few minutes ago came from the Busetsu Muryo Jukyo. That's the Sutra on the Buddha of Immeasurable Life. Sometimes we refer to this as the larger sutra because it's really hard to say the sutra on the Buddha of Immeasurable Life. So we know it as the larger sutra. And it's one of the 3 Pure Land Sutras that Venerable Shinran identified and formed the basis of his understanding of the Nembutsu teachings. For those of you who have done any studying in Buddhism, he quotes it quite a bit. And the passage that I shared, if you remember the words, they were kind of heavy, weren't they? Kind of intense words? Do you think so? So basically, Shakyamuni Buddha was saying that most people are superficial and crude, anxious and stuck in suffering. These people gather worries and problems as they lazily chase their desires without ever finding a sense of peace. Yikes. That sounds awful, doesn't it? Yeah. And even though those words of the Buddha may be hard for us to hear, it doesn't make them any less true. At the same time, I'm sure they were delivered by the Buddha in a loving and compassionate tone. And it almost seems like Shakyamuni Buddha was preaching this Dharma today, but it was more than 2,500 years ago. The words he expounded reflected his grave concern for how the normal human condition gets in the way for so many people who are unable to free themselves from the sufferings of their own making. Shakyamuni's words rang true during Shinran's time, and for certain, Shinran saw himself as one of the people the Buddha was talking about. Shinran wrote that he himself was sinking in an immense ocean of desires and attachments, so much so that Shinran described his situation as wretched and ugly. More hard words to hear. Shinran's humility and awareness of his own human condition is something that very few people are capable of doing, especially these days. After all, we are bombarded every day with examples of those who have little understanding of what humility actually is. And to be honest, for me, this is one of the things that I absolutely love about Shinran. He took an honest look at himself And even though he was an ordained priest, he realized that there was nothing special about him. He was in the same boat as everyone else. I imagine this might have been initially frustrating for him when he finally arrived at this conclusion concerning who he truly was as a person. But perhaps, maybe, just maybe, he looked at his situation in a different way. Maybe by sincerely looking at himself truthfully, he understood that he cannot save himself through his own efforts. And that is exactly what he had been doing for the 20 years of Mount Hiei as a Tendai priest. For you see, during those 20 years on the mountain, studying in the monastery and performing rituals and other difficult practices to gain merit, practices like walking around a statue of the Buddha for 90 days at a time, trying to progress along the path to his own enlightenment. Can you imagine doing that? Walking for 90 days around and around and around a statue? Reverend Smitty and I, and I'm sure Reverend Sterling had the opportunity as well, when we did Kyoshi, we actually practiced a very shortened version of that. It was probably about 15, 20 minutes long, and as we did it, we were chanting and dropping little petals of paper flowers on the ground, and it was exhausting. It was a little hard to stay up with everything, so I cannot imagine 90 days. So anyway, Shinran, in addition to that, he studied many sutras, and I can only imagine how it made him feel when he read the words that I shared at the start of this message from the larger sutra. And as intense as those words were, Shakyamuni did not hold back. The larger sutra continues saying about people in general, if they have a field, they worry about the field. If they have a house, they worry about the house. They worry about their money and wealth, clothes and food and furnishings. If they happen to have one thing, they feel that something else is lacking. If they have this, they feel they do not have that, and thus they wish they had as much as others. And even by chance, if they come to possess everything they want, they will soon lose it. Then they again anxiously pursue it, but will not be able to reacquire it, fretting over their losses in vain. They become exhausted in mind and body and are restless. I don't know about you, but for me, these words ring very true today for me personally. So what was Shinran to do when he heard this? Well, for Shinran, the answer came when he came to terms with this human condition. He gave up his own efforts and he encountered the true meaning of the Nembutsu teachings through his teacher, Honen Shonin. And Honen shared with Shinran that all those obstacles to his enlightenment, and even the whole question of what happens after we die, had already been taken care of through Amida Buddha's great practice. It wasn't something they had to figure out on their own anymore. Indeed, within the larger sutra, Shakyamuni Buddha declared that he appeared in this world and expounded the teaching of the way to enlightenment and sought to save the multitudes of ordinary people by bestowing upon them the benefit that is true and real. And what Shakyamuni Buddha was referring to was the universal vow. This vow was made by Bodhisattva Dharmakara. We know this as the 18th vow. And it goes like this. If, when I attain Buddhahood, the sentient beings of the 10 quarters, who with a sincere and trusting heart aspire to be born in my land and say my name, should not be born there, may I not attain the perfect enlightenment. Again, this is known as the 18th vow. Sometimes we hear it referred to as the primal vow or the universal vow. And this vow is for all beings, everyone, including us. And as Shin Buddhists, we understand this vow as being fulfilled since after making this vow and 47 others, Bodhisattva Dharmakara became Amida Buddha. This means that all beings will eventually be born in the Pure Land, attain nirvana, and become Buddhas. So, how do human beings go from eventually to be born to definitely be born in the Pure Land? This is the crux of the Nembutsu teachings, and a solution that all of us must sincerely come to terms with right now in this life. And that solution is not ours. It is not our solution. The solution comes from Amida and has already been given to us through Namo Amida Butsu. Hearing this precious name and coming to realize wholeheartedly that it is a gift freely given to us from Amida is Shinjin, true and trusting that everything will work out all right in the end. Because of Amida's boundless wisdom and compassion, which is directed to us who are constantly chasing our wants and desires and are weighted down by anxiety and worries, as well as our inability to be any other way. It's a human condition. And after all, this is very real for most of us. And this is the same condition that Shinran came to terms with. I believe when he came to this realization, it filled him with a tremendous feeling of gratitude. Almost like a huge weight had been lifted off of his shoulders. Has anyone ever felt like a huge weight has been lifted off your shoulders? This is the same way. Shinran came to realize that an answer in the form of Namo Amida Butsu had always been working, seeking to free those from the state of living that most people find themselves stuck in. Perhaps you may even find some truth in this yourselves. Shinran's profound gratitude arose from finally seeing himself as he truly was and realizing that Amida's universal vow was made for someone even like him, someone stuck in a painful, difficult, and deluded condition. That recognition and the trust that flowed from it is what allowed Shinjin to take root in his heart. This Shinjin that took root was given to Shinran by Amida and is given to all people just like us because of our deep ignorance and many attachments. So what kind of ignorance and attachments, worries, and anxieties do we experience in this day and age? What kinds of things distract us in our lives that keep us from seeing who we truly are? Do you have any ideas? Well, if you can relate, and I hope you do, this is one way you can look at our distractions that we encounter in our everyday lives. So will you please advance the slide for me? Thank you very much. Oh, let's go back one. Did it do the animations? Oh no! Oh no! Oh, can you advance forward, please? One more. And if you click it, does it do anything? Oh, shucks. Okay, well, technology. You can see on the screen, I've got the logos for Facebook, X, ChatGPT, Instagram, Truth Social, Blue Sky. I also had money, food, school, studying. You can imagine what it must have been like. And those are the kind of distractions that we have to deal with in our everyday lives, including technology failures, which I promise is not your issue. It was my issue the way I sent it to all of you. So that's one of my sufferings too. But those are things that we can all relate to. And when we come to understand that the vow comes to us because of all of those things, it's a special moment. And when Shinran recognized that Amida's great working had settled in his heart as Shinjin, even though he was also subject to all of those things and his attachments, his heart overflowed with gratitude, stating, "How joyous I am, Gutoko Shinran, disciple of Shakyamuni Buddha, reverently entrusting myself to the true essence of the Pure Land Way. I am aware of the Tathagata's benevolence. Here I rejoice in what I have heard and extol the Shinjin I have attained from Amida Buddha." Shinran was so overjoyed by this understanding of Shinjin that was always there, waiting for him, like a patient parent to discover it. He was determined to share the Nembutsu teachings with as many ordinary people as he could. From the powerful samurai to the peasant farmer, including merchants, householders, butchers, the educated and uneducated, everyone. For he came to understand that the Nembutsu teachings were for all beings. It was his hope that all would come to discover the Shinjin was wishing to take root in their hearts. And it's my hope, too, that you will come to realize this same sense of joy when you come to understand and accept that Shinjin is also being directed to you through the universal vow of Amida Buddha. It's one reason why we're all here today. We would not have been here if Shinran did not come to terms with who he was, experience the joy he felt when he encountered the universal vow, and decided to share that with so many people. your ancestors who may have come to this country from Japan. The conditions have brought all of us here, no matter who we are, and what the conditions were of our births and our ancestors' births. So many people made it possible for us to be here today. It's truly special, and it all began because Shinran wanted to share the joy he felt. So as Shin Buddhists, when we come to sincerely accept this gift from Amida, we naturally respond by reciting the Nembutsu in thanksgiving, just like Shinran did. So will you once more please place your hands together and join me in Gassho as we express our collective gratitude to Amida Buddha and our founder Shinran Shonin on this Ho-Onko. Let us recite the Nembutsu, the precious name of Amida, together. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Nob, Namo Nob, Namo Nob, Namo Nob.
Thank you, Reverend Vonn, for your message on Shinran and your reflections on during Shinran's time and how his teachings have resonated for us today. At this time, will everyone please rise for the Gatha Ondok-san that can be found on page 128 of the service book. Thank you. You may be seated. This time, please put your hands together in Gassho for a closing meditation. A family is a place where a mind lives with other minds. If these minds love each other, the home will be as beautiful as a flower garden. The teachings of the Buddha. Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. This concludes our Ho-Onko service for 2026. Wonderful that all of you were here to join us today, and thank you to our ministers for your participation. I know it's our first service of the major services of the year. We'll be having many more coming up, and especially that leads up to our temple's 100th anniversary service, which will be in September. So we hope that all of you will be able to join us for that big occasion. That will be for our Ohigan service the weekend of September 18th and 19th. Okay. Everyone is welcome to Oshoko as you leave the as you leave today, and we'll see all of you next door for our New Year's party. Thank you for attending.